Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Box Office Bust Month. This is a 2016 American action fantasy film. This is something completely different. Based on a video game series of the same name I've never played. It's directed by Duncan Jones. Yeah, he did Source Code and Moon. I think he did Moon. He also co-wrote with Charles Leavitt, and it stars Travis Fimmel, Paula Patton, Ben Foster, Dominic Cooper, Toby Kebbell, Ben Schnetzer, Robert Kaczynski, and Daniel Wu. The film follows Odin Lothar of Stormwind and Duratan of the Frostwolf clan as heroes set on opposite sides of a growing war as the warlocks Golden lead the horde to invade Azeroth using a magical portal. Sounds like it's pretty familiar. Together, a few human heroes and dissenting orcs must attempt to stop the true evil behind this war and restore peace. The 2016 Warcraft movie. I don't think this movie deserved a bomb. This is one of those hidden gems that I saw. I know Josh didn't think much of it, but I'm like, I didn't see this in the theater, so I wanted to wait till for stream it, and it's a good film. I think it's well made. It has a good budget. It has really some solid performances here and there. And the spectacle is there. You can actually see what's going on. It's well shot, a lot of colors, a lot of violence. Yeah, this movie lives up to its name, Warcraft. The film was first announced back in 2006. I never played the game, so I don't know anything about this. I know it's an MMO RPG on a computer that was back in the day. Yeah, it was a production partnership between Legendary Pictures and the game's developer Blizzard Entertainment, who is lambasted now. The film premiered in Paris in May 24, 2016 and was released in Universal Pictures in the US in June 10, 2016. It only grossed $47 million in the US. That's horrible. That's what movies are making now during the pandemic that don't do well. Even Ghostbusters Frozen Empire did better than this. And that's just, it's a shame because this is a good movie. And it made $435 million worldwide. That would have been a hit if the movie cost less than $100 million. But there's so much CG in the movie. That's why it cost so much. And there were big name actors in it. It grossed $225 million in China, being the highest grossing video game movie at the time. However, it failed to reach its break-even point. That's why it's a flop, which was $450 to $500 million after global marketing and distribution, and it got negative reviews from critics. I don't know why. It's short. It's not a 2.5-hour movie. According to this, it says 2 hours and 3 minutes. That's with the end credits. Without it, it's an hour and 55 minutes with a one post-credit scene at the end. And it's a story about the orcs, trying to protect this baby from a bunch of other people, from the human world, from, the baby getting slaughtered. And yeah, it's like a mix of like Lord of the Rings meets what was it? What's the other one? Game of Thrones and a hint of Doctor Strange with the portals and the magical, spells that they do. And I think it's entertaining. It's not perfect. I think some of the actors, are kind of used, or they killed off a lot of people in this movie. Not everybody though, because Duratan dies at the end. Spoiler. Yeah, he's played by Toby Kebbell. This is probably his best role because you don't have to see him on screen. It's motion capture. He has big teeth. He's a big hulking dude. And I think Duratan is a good character, like for what he is. And his wife, played by Anna Galvin, she's Draka, yeah, and the mother of Thrall, the baby. And the best part of the movie was Paula Patton as Garona, a strong-willed half-orc caught between the war of orcs and humans. Sexy, you know how I feel about her since Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol. She's got green skin, these tusks, super sexy, a loincloth, and just absolutely amazing. She's badass as well, just like she was in Ghost Protocol. Ben Foster was good as Medivh, the guardian Azeroth, a mysterious and reclusive protector who wields formidable magic. Yeah, he turns into this creature at the end. You have Dominic Cooper as the king. He does fine. Ben Schnetzer, he was a Khadgar, a gifted young mage who was trained at a young age to Kirin Tor to succeed him. Yeah, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Clancy Brown is the Black Hand, the ferocious orc. Yeah, Daniel Wu is Golden, the sinister orc. I think, the one with the beard. You have Ruth Negga. I'm not saying the N word. Is Negga. Negga. She's a Queen Taria. She doesn't do much in the film. She's basically like Florence Pugh's character in Dune Part Two that doesn't do much. You have Caleb Keith Rennie as Moros, and a bunch of other people, and the effects are good. I mean, the motion capture, the orcs, this awesome CGI griffin that they ride, is the wolves that they ride. Yeah, it's very very cool. It doesn't look dated. Glenn Close has a uncredited cameo. It's a good looking film. And, if you played the games and you hated it in the movie, I get it. It's not going to be for everybody. But I never played the games. I have no attachment to Warcraft whatsoever. I didn't even play Minecraft because it's not my kind of thing. I like RPGs that I don't have to pay monthly fees for. I love platformers. I love action adventure games and sports games to an extent. I don't play fantasy games like that. It's not my thing. Not really. I never even played D&D. But I did like this movie. It reminded me of that too. It has a sense of humor every now and then, but it's mostly a serious story. Here's the Rotten Tomatoes score, which I disagree with. 29%? No, hell no. Mortal Kombat Annihilation was worse than this. Warcraft has visual thrills to spare, definitely. But they and director Duncan Jones' distinctive gifts are wasted on a sluggish and derivative adaptation of a best-selling game with little evidence of cinematic value. I disagree. The action is very cinematic. The scale of the battles, it's in real locations. It's not just a bunch of CG. There's a lot of CG, but there's real locations, real people on screen. This is an Avatar where everything looks like a CGI cartoon. It looks like a video game, and it's not a video game movie. This is. I think it's fine. I know Tevye thought it was boring. I didn't, because my expectations were like mid. And I thought the film was fine. It said the performances and the story are the highlights. I was invested. Kebbell did better here than any other movie I've seen him in. He sucked in every movie I've seen him in. Fan Snore Stick and Kong Skull Island and freaking Rock and Rolla and Sorcerer's Apprentice. He's not a good actor. Here, he's fine. He plays Duratan well and he dies. So him and Dominic Cooper don't live to tell the tale here. So I was happy with that. If the hobo had died in Force Awakens, it'd be in my top 10. But anyway, it says that they are developing a new Warcraft movie, Josh, so you're wrong. This movie made enough money, even though it did not break even, it made enough to make it leave an impact. While it said the storyline will leaving Warcraft open to possible sequels, Jones has expressed interest in a sequel, likely to be Warcraft 2 Tides of Darkness or World of Warcraft. June 18, 2018, Jones tweeted that the chance of getting a sequel doesn't look good. But in 2020, when the pandemic happened, it was reported that Legendary is developing a new Warcraft movie, though it's unknown if the plans are a reboot or a sequel to Jones's film. I would say do it as a Netflix series. A thing like this would be another Game of Thrones or The Witcher or something like that, where they can expand the characters in a television show, because you won't lose as much money. TV shows don't lose as much money as a movie, because look what happened last year. Half of the Disney movies bombed. Well, because they threw too much money. And there's movies that cost more than this that Disney made. This movie costs less than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's shorter, it's less painful, it's better looking, and it's more believable. You got a younger cast. You don't have anybody 90 years old riding on a horse. Or an annoying SJW bitch annoying me throughout the movie. There was none of that here. It was a lot better. It was way more visually appealing. $160 million. I will say this, the money is on the screen. It doesn't look like shit. I've seen way worse movies this year. I've seen movies with twice this budget that look like a CGI cartoon. And I'm like, you don't need a budget that big. You don't. You need a good enough budget. 160 million would be good for like a Marvel movie. But for a movie like this, they could have done this with less than 100 million, like 90 million. And just cut some of the CG, do some more practical. Lord of the Rings didn't cost this much. The Hobbit did, but that's a different story. That was a prequel. But, you can do it. It's just that, and also, this came out in the summer that it was doomed. It was 2016. A lot of movies were underperforming, just like last year. Finding Dory came out. It destroyed the box office. It was a massive hit. And this was just overshadowed. I mean, that's why. It came out the same weekend as The Conjuring 2 and Now You See Me 2. Both movies that did way better. And also Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows affected its box office. It was crowded. But I think it deserves another chance. If you do it as a Netflix series, or as a movie on streaming, I would be fine with it. You don't need to do everything in the theater. Yeah, it says it. It says the distributed by Universal transferred to the Legendary's current release partners Sony Pictures, Warner Brothers, or Netflix. Just release a sequel and continue the story. I think it could be done well if you give it a shot. Now video game movies are they're surefire because the movies and TV shows are doing well, and they're overshadowing comic book movies and all these other remakes that have been made that people are just tired of. They're tired of getting 15 horror movies in like 6 months. It's a lot. Here, we don't get a lot of fantasy movies anymore. Not as much as we used to, but I say give it another chance. If they do a Legend of Zelda movie like this, but make way less CG, I think it can work. Because Nintendo knows what they're doing. But I would say see the movie. It's on streaming. You can watch it on Amazon Prime or any other streaming service that you can find it at. It's worth a shot. It's not terrible. I've seen terrible, guys. I can make you a list for you on Facebook. But anyway, that's my review of the Warcraft movies from 2016. It's not that bad. I actually liked it. Not loved it, but liked it enough. And it was worth a stream. And I don't think it's terrible. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Acknowledge me, and I'll see you guys in the next review later on.